Proverbs 12:19. Hey guys, Happy New Year's to everyone. This is finally 2018. I don't know what I mean by finally. It's not like I was waiting for it or anything. But you know, I kind of feel like I want to say finally. I don't know, something about this new year feels really good. And that might be misconceiving. If you see the title that I put, you know, Happy New Year, martial law, trauma, you know, healing trauma. Now, we're here on episode 4 of Apocryphal Talks. It's been a while since I've posted a new episode. And that ties in with, you know, today's, you know, theme. And, you know, that theme is healing trauma, getting over, you know, past wounds, healing that hurt within the mind. You know, and physical trauma can cause mental despair, cause depression, things of that nature. Well, some of my own, you know, mental despair, you know, some of my own trauma has caused me to, you know, sometimes it gives me moments where I just get really depressed, you know, especially here in the winter months. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to clean. I don't want to cook. I don't want to, you know, interact with people. You know, basic depression stuff, pretty much. And, you know, and I have to pull myself out of it. You know, no one can really, you know, pull me out except for myself. And, you know, that's, you know, kind of what I talk about. But first, let me get, you know, start with the very beginning. And that is Happy New Year, everyone. It is 2018. The energy is exciting. There are changes happening, good, bad. Oh, God, all kinds of things. Oh, I'm just stretching here right now. Oh, I'm just like nice and relaxed. And just feeling good. Feeling good about this year. Man, okay, so martial law. I brought up martial law just like lackadaisically, like you know, martial law, like it's an everyday thing. Well, what I'm talking about here is President Trump has put in an executive order that basically puts us into martial law. They're the latest executive order that he's put in place basically makes it to where anyone who's doing anything corrupting, you know, there's, you know, considered corruption, like child trafficking, you know, using you know, the government to traffic children, you know, basically using the government to do illegal activities. And he's used this executive order as a way to stop that. And this is something serious. I mean, you know, no one's really reporting on it. I know Alex Jones is reporting on it. That's what made me get up and get on, you know, and make me want to talk about this, because I was listening to him. And I kind of just throw this here at the beginning. I really don't know much about it. I knew that he, you know, basically put this executive order into law. And I talked about it, and I feel like that was like just a few days ago. and no one really paid attention to the post. And I was like, well, this is a really big, deal because, this is going to stop George Soros. This is going to stop the Clinton Foundation, the corrupt Clinton Foundation. This could have even implications on CNN and other mainstream media. You have to excuse me, I'm drinking water while I talk here. But yeah, it's if you don't trust Trump, of course, this is gonna scare you, right? And if you don't trust Trump, well, then you're probably a pretty bad person because, well, no, I can't say that. There's some really good people that don't completely trust Trump right now. But what I'm trying to say is that basically he's draining the swamp as he promised. I mean, this man, like, he does not stop on the promises, right? He doesn't stop. And, like, I have to forgive everyone. I know it seemed like this show was only going to be spiritual, and geared towards, religious. But you have to understand, religion, spirituality, physicality, mentalism, all of it, it's spiritual. It's all spiritual, but it's all physical and it's all mental. I have this spiritual concept. It's a three within three concept, right? And what it is that, basically, the human organism is created. Is made of three different parts. Okay, it's the physical body, the mental, the mental mind, and the spiritual, spirit. That's it. That's what it is in its purest form, right? Okay, but as we know, everything, recognizes itself in a threefold manifestation. So if anything is doing introspection, like if the spirit introspects within itself, and the body introspects itself, and the mind introspects itself, it would recognize that it has a threefold form. Like the mind has the brain, that's its physical form. That's the brain's body. That's the mind's body. The neuroreceptors or the what you would call like involuntary thoughts, involuntary beliefs, or involuntary behaviors would be like the mind of the mind. And the spirit of the mind would be the part of the mind that connects with the spirit. And this is how all these things link together, and it's in a three within a three within a threefold form, which makes it 9. Nikola Tesla said, which he had a very enlightened mind, which gave him the ability to create all these fantastical creations, but of course they weren't money makers because it actually gave people, free energy, honestly. But, of course, there's no way to make real money off of that. So, his technology didn't make it very far. At least not in the mainstream. And so, anyway, he was very enlightened. He, I believe, honestly, Tesla was a natural channeler. He was channeling, cosmic energy or information from a higher being, whether that is extraterrestrial, like within space, or spiritual, like angels or God, it's, himself, itself, whatever. Well, I believe in God and I believe in Jesus Christ, my feelings on that, everyone who listens to my show. Which I really appreciate everyone that, listens to my show, to be freaking honest. Every time I look at my stats, it just grows a little bit more and more, and I feel so proud every time that, even if it's just one person out of 1 week, I just feel so glad that, someone's listening and, downloaded, actually, took the time to download my podcast. I really appreciate that. Like, I can't, tell you enough. Like, that really from deep down in my heart, like, makes me feel good. But anyway, so, Trump is just kicking ass, man. And we're coming into a time now where all of the trauma-based mind control, like through MK Ultra, Project MK Ultra, and Project Monarch, and all these other mind control, projects and things are gonna come to light, like in like the mainstream. It's already coming out that Trump's, Mueller's little investigation into this little Russia thing is like completely bogus. Which I'm glad, because it is bullshit and it's a waste of time. It's a waste of our tax-paying money. The taxpayers' money. And this man isn't keeping his promise. He says he's going to put more money in our pockets. He says he's going to build a wall. He says he's working on that. And he says he's going to work on immigration and drain the swamp, which is reduce corruption. And it's all falling into place. And I'm so glad. I'm just like, I just chose the right side of history whenever I looked at Trump and I was like, you know what? Even though I was raised on liberal ideology, even though I was raised on, which not my whole upbringing was, liberal. I'm talking about like school. School tries to brainwash you and put all these ideas in your head. But, you have to find out for yourself. But that's where that trauma-based mind control comes in, because, the best way to instill something into people's mind is to first shock the system, right? And people have, doctors and experimenters, whomever, the psychologists, have figured this out through these MK Ultra and Project Monarch experiments. And they found that when you traumatize someone physically, you can instill into something, something into someone, like an idea or a connection. Okay? And what do I mean by connection? Okay? I mean like, how a child connects with their parent, that feeling of warmth, of home, of protection. These sick people, use this, understanding of how the human psychology works and how the human mind works neurologically. And, some of these people are, like I said, this is all levels of trauma I'm talking about, okay? And, there's mass trauma, which happens, on a mass scale, with everyone, like 9/11. 9/11 would be a mass trauma event, right? And then there's private trauma events, which, things that happen at home, or somehow you get mixed